It's time to start your morning by taking 5. Here's your host, Matt McMaster.
You're listening to Take 5, a quick 5-minute take on the biggest things happening in Nebraska sports. I am your host, Matt McMaster. It is an incredible weekend of sports ahead of us. We have the women's Final Four today. The men's Final Four begins tomorrow. We have the Crown, if you're into that, with Boise State playing Nebraska tomorrow. Then we have baseball all weekend. If you like horses, we have the Santa Anita Derby, which is a massive derby that dictates what the Kentucky Derby, which is the Run for the Roses, which is the biggest horse race every year. We have that race, which will determine the field of the Derby or some of the field of the Derby. We got everything. If you like the ponies, if you like baseball, basketball, anything, hockey, we have all of it. And I am giving you my picks for the weekend of if you're looking on YouTube right now, I was looking for a board. I write a board on a big piece of paper, and I tell people what the picks should be. I currently don't have the board in front of me right now, so I'll just have to remember it off of memory. But we will start in the men's Final Four. So the two matchups, Houston taking on Duke, Auburn taking on Florida. These are both incredible, man. Auburn and Florida have played earlier in the year. Florida won that game by 11 points. I think it's a really interesting matchup when it comes down to styles of play. Auburn is really big, really physical, with Cardwell and Broom down low. It's really hard to get offensive rebounds. They clear up the boards. They can dominate you down low in the paint, but so can Florida. I mean, Florida has one of the best rebounding percentages in the country. 58% of the time they're grabbing a board, whether it be on the offensive or defensive end. That's good enough for top 10 in the nation. Both these teams have incredible guards. Denver Jones, Tahad Pettiford for Auburn. You got Elijah Martin and Walter Clayton for Florida. It's going to be a heavyweight battle. We've seen it before in SEC play. Now we're going to get to see it on the biggest stage possible in the sport in the Final Four in San Antonio. Line is 2.5. When you have a line, I mean, man, it's going to be a close game. When you have a line this close, I just kind of like to pick who I think will be the winner and then just kind of let the chips fall where they may. I think Florida's going to win this game. I just think they have better guard play right now with Martin and Clayton. I think that the key to Auburn's success has been physicality down low. Florida has the roster to match it, and I just think Clayton, he's a closer, man. He closed out the game against UConn, closed out the game against Texas A&M in that massive comeback, and I know that a lot of people, go, oh, Denver, Tahad Pettiford could be a closer, Janiah Broom could be a closer, but I'm going to take Clayton every day of the week. And so that's where I'm going with them. We look at the Duke-Houston matchup. I mean, Duke is Duke. I think Duke will win, but I'm going to pick Houston to cover at plus 5.5. I think Houston's just playing incredible basketball. They got a great coach in Kelvin Sampson. I think Duke is just way too talented, and they have the best player in the country. And I just don't. I think that's going to be enough for them. But 5.5 points is way, way too high, especially when you have a 1 seed playing a 1 seed, and not just a 1 seed playing the 1 seed. You have the number 1 team in Ken Palm playing the number 2 team in Ken Palm. You have Duke 1, Houston 2, 5.5, way too much. I know a lot of people like the under in this game. I actually like the over. I mean, I don't think Houston is going to be able to win this game 65-62. I think this is going to be a 73-70 game, and the over-under, or the total for that is 136.5. It's an interesting contrast of lines here, because if you're betting the under, you would, or where the total is, it would kind of dictate a Houston win. Yet a Houston win is, plus, I think it's like in the 230s right now outright. So there's some discrepancies there. I think you could take advantage of it with the Houston plus 5.5, but also getting over 136.5 points. We'll move to the ponies for the people who like horse racing. It's 5-horse race. There's some would argue it's a 2-horse race. The Santa Anita Derby, which kicks off at 7 p.m. I believe it's on NBC and their coverage of the Kentucky Derby regular season, essentially. You have 2 horses who are going to be prime horses in the Kentucky Derby, Citizen Bowl and Journalism, going off against each other. Journalism has looked like a dominant horse this year in his 3-year-old season. Citizen Bowl, a Bob Baffert trained horse, really, really fast. Both have had successes. Journalism has been solid. Journalism right now is one of the top 3 horses in the field for the Kentucky Derby. He's the favorite, 6-5. I believe Citizen Bowl is 2-1. But there's a third horse in this race, also trained by Bob Baffert. It's called Barnes. He's the number 4 horse. Barnes is a pace setter, but in his first go-around past a mile in a 2-turn race, he kind of sped out a little bit. I think that the horse is going to be able to recover. I think Baffert is going to have his horse ready to go. The speed on Barnes is incredible. He ran 6 furlongs in 1:11. I mean, if you follow horse racing, that's a super, super fast horse. So I think that if you want to make money here, it's just the odds are too high to go a 1-2 to go a Journalism Citizen Bowl exacta. So I'm going to go an exacta box with Citizen Bowl and Barnes and Journalism and Barnes and see if we can make some money there. Some history could be made tonight in the NHL as the Washington Capitals at home will take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Alexander Ovechkin 3 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. Blackhawks are one of the worst teams in the league. Capitals already in the playoffs. They're legit playing to get Ovi this record. I think for sure tonight he will knock home a goal. And then no run first inning, one of my favorite bets in the MLB. The Padres take on the Cubs at Wrigley Field. The temperature in Wrigley today, not great, very cloudy. Wind more than likely going to be blowing in. I just don't think the ball is going to be popping out of the park, and both these teams haven't scored a lot in the first inning, so give me Cubs, Padres, no run first inning. That's my picks for the weekend. Let's go make some money. You've been listening to Take 5. I've been Matt McMaster.